we get the action underway there. Steve Palmer comes away for Britain. Thor Holm on the left of your picture coming away off pole position, and it is Stephen Palmer ahead of Norway. Stephen Palmer leads. Thor Holm into second spot. Into third place has come Belgium. Yes, no, Dermot Carnegie, I think, in third place for the Irish. We'll check that in a second, but no doubt about the lead. It is Stephen Palmer leading. Stephen Palmer leading, and it's Thor Holm in second spot. Those two cars beginning to get away from the rest of the field as they come through Sampson Curve. Steve Palmer in second place, Norway. Third place, yes, it is Dermot Carnegie for the Irish. Then number 46, Ludo Sturkis for Belgium. And it's beginning to group into two battles of two. And Steve Palmer gets very, very sideways there, coming out of the Manhattan complex. And Norway go through into the lead. Thor Holm leads it for Norway. Stephen Palmer, he is now going to shadow the big man from Holden in Norway all the way around this track and try and pressurise him into perhaps a little bit too much sideways in the corners and get that lead back. Meantime, the Belgians going through, having their private battle with the Irish to take third place there. Stephen Palmer perhaps trying a little bit too hard as he came out of the old chicane, loses a bit of ground, and Thor Holm looking fairly secure up front now for the Norwegians. Well, a great start there for the British, but Thor Holm having a bit of a coming together there with Steve Palmer in the Mad Hatter complex. Stephen Carr looks perfectly okay, but at the moment the British driver certainly giving away a bit of ground, I think, as number 95 goes away there. Dermot Carnegie for the Irish team in troubles there. The Irish driver, the engine, I would think, has probably died on him, or a transmission failure. There seems to be no visible problems like a flat tyre or broken suspension or anything such as that, but Ireland well out of this race now. But very much in it is Thor Holm on his way then to another 25 points here for Norway, unless Stephen Palmer can do something about it. And Steve, if anything, closing a little bit now on the Norwegian. Yes, closing right in on the RS200. Steve Palmer, obviously with superior knowledge of this track, I would think, over Thor Holm, but as we've said before, these men are professionals. They learn the tracks very, very quickly indeed, and Thor Holm showing that to good effect as he continues to hold the RS200 up front from Steve Palmer. But Steve bringing that gap down all the time now in the Sickens Dynetics sponsored car there. Stephen Palmer goes on his way, goes wide into the checkers corner, clips across tighter on the apex than the Holm, but that doesn't do him any good. Holm still maintains that advantage as they come away back onto the red shell loose of Sampson Curve. This is where the RS200 rears into its own as Holm turns the power on. Steve closing once again under brake, and as they go into the tight complex here, Mad Hatter corners, you may wonder how they get their name. They are, of course, named after the Alice in Wonderland fairy tale, written by Lewis Carroll, who was in fact born not very far from this circuit. So this is no fairy tale though, this is for real, and this is Thor Holm still having to fight very, very hard indeed to hold off the attentions there of Stephen Palmer. Steve getting in very close indeed. They go past the dead car of Dermot Carnegie. Meantime, Stephen Palmer climbs over the curbs and Holm gets away once again, and it's all looking rather good here at the moment for Norway to extend that advantage. We've got two more races to come after this one, and it's still open with the big point scores that go in these finals. It's still possible that the Norwegians can be overcome, but Norway going through, and Holm with the advantage goes down to the flag. So 25 points there to Norway, 20 to Great Britain, and it's Belgium through in third.
I think that should in fact move Great Britain back up to second, in fact, with that 20 points there from Stephen Palmer. We still have a chance in the last two races to catch up Norway. But they're very happy Thor Holm. I mean, flamboyant as ever. One of the most flamboyant teams here this weekend is Norway.